Okay, we are going to read chapters 48 and 49 today. Um, we are almost finished with the book. After today, we'll only have two more chapters. All right, chapter 48, Oliver's idea of lucky. So, what's it like? Oliver asked before his body was even come to a stop in front of my desk. What's it like? This thing you have, dystopia or whatever. Dyslexia? Yeah, what's it like? Well, I begin, but I don't really have an answer. Don't you see everything backwards? Like, that's what I've heard. He squints. Wait, do you see me backwards right now? I shake my head. No, I don't think so. And then a movie of the butterflies at the museum drops into my head, and I look back up at him. It's kind of like the letters on the page flutter like butterflies. His face scrunched up. Wait, you mean they move? The letters move? I nod. His eyes widen. That is so cool. You're so lucky. Letters just stand there all boring when I read. I hate reading. I'd rather do anything in the world than read. Really? I ask, wishing that the letters would just stand still for me and wait to be read. He gasps a little, as if he can't believe that I don't agree. Yeah, are you kidding? Last summer, my mother kept giving me the choice of reading or washing her car. She had the cleanest car in the neighborhood all summer long. I smile because I really like Oliver. I've been thinking about myself so much, I'd never really noticed how funny he is. And then, looking around the room, I remember thinking that my reading differences were like dragging a concrete block around every day, and how I felt sorry for myself. But now I realize that everyone has their own blocks to drag around, and they all feel heavy for them. I think of that word Mr. Daniels used when he talked about the famous people with dyslexia, grit. He said it's being willing to fail, but to keep trying, trying and trying, trying again, pushing through and sticking with something even if it's hard. He also told us that a lot of those famous people were not afraid to make mistakes. No matter how many they made, I think messing up will bother me less than I'm used to. Keisha, Albert, and I are hanging out on the playground when Shay and a few of her clones come over. So you really have that thing Mr. Daniels was talking about? Asks Shay. Yeah, I say, feeling proud of it after his talk. So dyslexia, don't you see letters backwards or something? Sort of, I replied, not sure exactly, since I've never seen the letters the way other people have. Figures, she says. My brother's in kindergarten, and he can see them the right way. She looks at me, like she always has. It bugs me, but not like it used to. Albert steps forward. Do you ever see letters backwards, Shay? No, are you kidding me? Oh, Albert says, dropping his voice. Too bad. Why is that too bad? Oh, well, it's a sign of intelligence. And then this thing just comes over Albert, like he's all relaxed and everything, standing in a way that isn't all stiff and Albert-like. I know that you think I'm a nerd and everything, he says to her. I mean, you've called me all kinds of things, but there's one thing you've never called me. What would that be? Dumb. You've never called me dumb. She swings her hip to the side and sighs. What is your point, Albert? Well, there are a lot of letters that I've always seen backwards, and Allie sees more than I do. So, who knows how smart she must be? Wait, Albert sees letters backwards, too? Shay's thinking about it, looking like she just found out that she's the only one not invited to the party. What letters do you see backwards? Well, OITAMVXU. Some others. Huh? Wow, Shay's at a loss for words. I never thought I'd say that. Come on, Shay, or see that. Come on, she finally says. I have better things to do. I'm going to the bathroom, Jessica says. I'll be there in a second. Just so you know those letters, he said. I will give you an extra dojo point if you can tell me why he said those letters. OITAMVXU. Why he sees those letters backwards. All right, back to reading. Obviously, Shay says, you wouldn't dare not be. Shay leaves and her group follows, but they don't all stomp away like they usually do. A few walk behind her, half looking back. Jessica turns and jogs back to us, and I can tell right away she's different. Hey, I think it's cool, this dyslexia. And you're a really good artist, she says, and then turns to walk away again. Then stops, turns back. And I'm really sorry, Allie, for everything, she says before turning to run this time. My mom was right. I'm sorry. They're pretty powerful words. So, Mr. Science, Keisha says, turning toward Albert, did the world first just fall off its axis or what? Did I just see what I think I did? We all watch Jessica run up the hill. Well, he says, there is an explanation. Allie is a catalyst. Not sure what he means, but from Albert it must be good. All of a sudden, Keisha starts cracking up, bending over with her hands resting on her knees, stumbling around like she's going to fall over. God, Albert, I can't believe you did that with those letters, and I can't believe she went for it. Albert cracks a smile. Keisha puts her arm around my shoulder. Albert here just gave Shay a whole bunch of letters. I'm going to skip that because I give you extra credit. If she wasn't spitting nails mad, trying to hurt people, she probably would have figured it out. So let's see if you guys can figure it out. Then I laugh too. Thanks, Albert, I say. Shay's going to hate you more than she hates me soon. No worries, Keisha says. That girl has plenty of hate to go around. And I realize that it is easier now that Shay and everyone else know why I have so much trouble. Mr. Daniel says I should concentrate on what I do well, and I'm going to try to do that. When I get back to my desk, there's a wooden A on it. I pick it up and wonder where it came from. Allie, my grandfather would like you, Sookie says. I carved this letter from one of his blocks. It is for you. A for Allie. But also, I think you're amazing, and I admire you. I wanted you to know that. I swallow the lump in my throat. Thanks a lot, Sookie. Now I can tell everyone I finally got an A in school. And we both start to laugh. I hear Shay across the room, but she doesn't sound happy. There's something on her desk, too. It's a pile of her old friendship bracelets. All right, so that's the end of chapter 48. So again, I'll give you extra credit if you can tell me why Albert gave Shay those letters. I do want to reread a quote that Allie said, and then I want you to tell me a little bit more about it. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you agree with it. Tell me what your opinion is about it. It says, she was looking around the room. I remember thinking that my reading differences were like dragging a concrete block around every day, and how I felt sorry for myself. Now I realize that everyone has their own blocks to drag around, and they all must feel heavy. So tell me what you think about that quote that I took from the chapter. And one thing I want you guys to realize is sometimes what the characters say and do give us a lot of information, even if it doesn't say the exact feeling or the exact words that we want to get out of them. But that quote right there tells us a lot about Allie's thinking, how it's changed a little bit. So tell me what you're thinking about that quote. You can hit pause if you need to, and when you unpause, we can start chapter 49. All right, chapter 49, I See the Light. During break time, Albert and Keisha were talking about her new ideas for recipes. Jessica and Max and some other kids are laughing about something while Shay sits at her desk watching them. She seems like she's not sure what to do, which is an odd thing to see. Finally, she stands and walks over. However, they don't really acknowledge her, especially Jessica. Something about it reminds me of those empty Sunday dishes back when Shay and Jessica made me feel small for being me. Now it's hard to imagine feeling that way. Oliver is going from desk to desk. As he does, kids are holding their arms over their heads to make a big circle. Then he says something, and they answer. When they do, he jumps and laughs. Finally, he gets to Shay, and I can hear what he says. Hold up your arms over your head to make a circle. She hesitates, but she does it, which surprises me. Now, Oliver says, spell imagine, and then say light bulb. I am a GE light bulb. Oliver jumps and laughs. Shay drops her arms. You're such a freak, Oliver. Go stink somewhere else. He goes to Keisha, and they do the same thing with their arms, but she laughs afterwards. And I feel happy for Oliver because I remember a time when he would have sat down and been sad after Shay had said something like that. Looking at Shay, I can tell she's looking around the room wondering where she fits in now, wondering how all this happened. I remember how it felt to be alone in a room full of people, so I took a deep breath and I headed over. Hey, Shay. Now that I'm close to her, I can finally see. She's upset. What do you want? I just thought I'd say hi. While she stares at me, all of the mean things she's done wind through my head, and I wonder if I'd made a mistake coming over. I think, she says, we should call you Alley Cat from now on. Go bother someone else. At first I'm surprised, but then I realize it wasn't a mistake to come over because it felt like the right thing. Shay's the one who decided to act mean, but at least I tried. I have to admit, though, I do feel sorry for her. All right, so that's chapter 49. So this chapter was, not a whole bunch kind of major going on, but I want you to think about this chapter, kind of the scene, kind of make your own mind movie about it, and tell me how it's different from chapters in the beginning of what was going on in the classroom, in their classroom. Give me a couple sentences about how some things have changed in the classroom. You can write those down and send them to Miss Whitener and myself. Thanks.